we can start our event.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Visa Innovation Program webinar, Smart and Cities. I am Maria Krivou, Senior Editor at Fortune Greece Magazine and PowerGame.gr. The Visa Innovation Program is a fintech pilot-centered collaboration platform designed to help your startup scale, supercharge the value proposition with Visa, its partners, and its clients. It's organized in partnership with Crowd Policy from Greece, 11 ventures from Bulgaria, quarters from Turkey. Choosing to talk about smart and sustainable cities isn't accidental. Digital transformation is advancing rapidly, climate change is a global threat, and states all over the world are called upon to adopt greener practices and policies. In that point, I would like to mention things about this initiative that has become an institution. Started back in 2018, the Visa Innovation Program attracted more than 500 applicants from Europe, Middle East, Asia, US, and Latin. Over the last 4 years, 50 fintech companies have participated in them. They managed to raise collectively more than 130 million euros and close 45 proof of concepts, pilot and commercial deals as part of the program. As Mrs. Douros mentioned before, our event is recorded and we will upload the video in our YouTube channel. We have also live streaming in our platforms in Facebook and YouTube channel of Crowd Policy, which means that you can watch it again and again whenever and wherever you want. So at tonight's event, it's our great honor and pleasure to have with us Mrs. Katherine Brown. She is the Vice President at Visa and passionate advocate for sustainable finance. We are connecting Switzerland for a short greeting. So Mrs. Brown, the floor is yours.
Hello to everyone. Bonjour, buongiorno, and grüezi miteinander from Switzerland. I'm coming to you today from a very snowy mountaintop to share with you some highlights and innovations from Visa that hopefully will inspire you in some way as we learn about and add your own magic to the opportunity for smarter and more sustainable and more inclusive cities. Let me start by saying that Visa believes that inclusive and sustainable economies uplift everyone, everywhere, which drives our mission to connect the world to enable individuals, businesses, and economies to thrive. We empower small and micro businesses and entrepreneurs with knowledge, skills, and access to networks and financial services to advance digital equity and inclusive economic growth. We believe that the power of payment technology to continue to bolster the long-term viability and sustainability of cities and urban areas is essential. Visa is committed to supporting clients, partners, and stakeholders across Europe, and we are proud to have a deep connection with Greece, as evidenced by the Visa Innovation Program, the reason we're all here today. Let me tell you a little bit more about this. So we signed a multi-year partnership with the city of Athens called Visa for Athens. This program aims to help preserve Athens for the future and to promote more sustainable behavior for local cardholders as well as tourists. Visa commits to investing in safeguarding and restoring the artistic and historical heritage of the city. In addition, a Visa donation will be used for restoration projects, safeguarding the value of the city as a sustainable tourism destination, as well as enhancing the quality of everyday life for the citizens of Athens. The Visa Innovation Program, or VIP, is a program that we launched in 2019 in partnership with Crowd Policy, a local accelerator. It enters its 4th season, and we're inspired by this collaborative platform where fintechs and Visa's global partner networks work together to address market-wide challenges on a number of verticals such as empowering SMEs, unlocking new payment flows, designing next-gen payment experiences, and building smarter and ever more sustainable cities. Did you know that in Greece, 97% of all businesses are small businesses? Visa is aiming to enable 50,000 SMEs in the next few years in Greece to start accepting digital payments. To give you just a few examples, we're working with our acquiring clients in Greece to aid and grow card acceptance at small businesses through our Where You Shop Matters initiative. We're also rolling out cost-efficient card acceptance technologies, such as tap-to-phone. Our tap-to-phone technology is already offered in the market by Eurobank and Viva Payments, with more on the way. And through local TV campaigns and testimonials by SME owners on social media in 2020 and 2021, our call to action invited consumers to shop at small neighborhood stores. In parallel, we've disseminated B2B messaging to SMEs, inviting them to visit our local website and benefit from the useful information and tools for small businesses. So let's shift gears a bit and talk about urban mobility. You can't very well talk about smart and sustainable cities without urban mobility, can you? We are seeing that frictionless payment technology, such as contactless, is critical in a world where no contact, touchless experiences are here to stay. Contactless is key for bringing people back to public transportation, building on the already growing global trend and momentum towards open loop contactless travel. Visa is working with local authorities in 50 of the largest urban areas in Europe, including Athens, Paris, London, Warsaw, Madrid, Milan, Turin, and Porto to support urban mobility initiatives. In more detail, Bonn, a city in Germany, we're supporting them through a program called Bonn Smart, the first contactless public transport ticketing system in Germany, which launched in September 2020. And in 2021, Visa partnered with Portuguese city of Porto to launch the city's first contactless ticketing transit system as well. Visa's role goes well beyond enabling contactless payments in buses and trains. It also helps cities across Europe to grow sustainably and take advantage of the latest digital commerce solutions. We believe that widespread adoption of electric vehicles, or EVs, will be key to helping Europe meet its net zero targets. The transition to electric vehicles is dependent on a simple, effective infrastructure to support it. To date, electric vehicle charging is perceived as more difficult because it's not as widely available as by comparison a petrol station. But did you know that at present, there is no widespread industry standard for payment acceptance at EV charging points? This leads to a system where consumers across Europe often do not have a choice of payment method and are forced into a single option, for example, an app or a provider program, or even face not being able to charge their vehicle because they aren't registered with the required subscription service. Only a small number of European cities, such as Germany, have legislated for a standardized approach. But by standardizing payments, be it through an app, a loyalty program, embedded finance, or contactless, we can help to smooth the customer journey as the number of chargers grow, and in doing so, play a part in supporting the take-up and growth of electric vehicles. As part of the conversation on interoperable payments and systems for EV charging points, Visa is calling for the industry to embed interoperable payment standards that provide consumers with greater convenience and choice. Visa is the first representative from the financial services and payments community to join CHARIN, a nonprofit international charging initiative, working with all parts of the e-mobility value chain as an essential step in Visa's support of public-private partnerships to expand sustainable mobility. So shifting gears again, pun not intended this time, by the way, let's discuss empowering people to make more sustainable choices, a fundamental component to building a resilient and sustainable city. We like research and data around here, unsurprisingly, and we can see from a recent study we conducted that the intention to action gap for consumers is significant, meaning that their desire to live sustainably versus the perceived ability to do so in their everyday lifestyle choices is hindered, and that companies and governments need to do more to make this easier. Visa partners with Ecolytic, our inaugural fintech partner, actually, whose innovative sustainability as a service solution analyzes payment transaction data in real time to inform every transaction with individual environmental footprint calculations. Sustainability as a service also helps to nudge consumers to change their behavior by providing them with useful tips on sustainable lifestyle and consumption choices and offering them the ability to offset their environmental footprint. Banks partnering with Visa will now be able to show their consumers even more sustainable payment options. In November 2021, Visa announced the launch of the Visa Eco Benefits Bundle, a curated selection of green banking products aimed at equipping banks with the tools to meet shifting consumer demand and to embrace sustainable business models. Visa Eco Benefits launches across Europe in 2022 and includes the Ecolytic carbon footprint calculator, carbon offsetting options, educational content, and reward options for cardholders, which is really quite important. The Eco Benefits Bundle is a tangible contribution towards Visa's global aspiration to be a climate positive company, using its products, services, data, network, and brand to drive sustainable commerce and support the transition to a low carbon economy. Now, it's this ambition and aspiration that gets me truly excited in my role here at Visa, imagining how we can inspire sustainable behaviors to future-proof the positive path of sustainable consumption. So one such path is the circular economy, which in Europe alone could add 900 billion euros to GDP by 2030. As far as consumers and truly smart cities are concerned, this is through innovating and accelerating the emerging sustainable retail models in rental, resale, returns, repairs, refills, and very important addition for Visa, redistribution. The role of the consumer in enabling the transformational shift to a regenerative economy is nascent, but it's already happening if you look around you. And I believe that Visa can be a leader to ensure that it benefits everyone everywhere. We can inspire transformational change at scale by providing of-the-moment insight, new and exciting products and services, and enhanced skills and education opportunities for clients and governments. In my view, this area is a perfect landscape for multi-stakeholder public-private partnerships to reset the narrative on sustainable consumption and sustainable growth. So you can probably tell I'm a little excited about this in particular, but in my excitement for what lies ahead in terms of large-scale sustainable consumption, my thoughts always return to making sure that everyone is on this journey with us. And that brings me to the incredibly important topic of financial inclusion. Financial inclusion means that everyone everywhere can use secure, convenient, and affordable payment and other financial services to meet everyday needs and long-term goals. Today, nearly 4 billion adults globally have a transaction account, and innovations in policy, technology, and financial services have led to the inclusion of 1.2 billion adults in the formal financial system since 2011. Yet 1.7 billion adults remain excluded from the formal financial system. You've heard me mention it once or maybe even twice before, that Visa believes that economies that include everyone everywhere uplift everyone everywhere. According to Moody's, digital payments advanced inclusive economic growth to the tune of 296 billion USD and to the GDP of 70 developed and emerging markets between 2000 and 2015, equivalent to the creation of 2.6 million jobs on average per year. So by expanding digital payments and access to financial services, Visa has the opportunity to accelerate financial inclusion, to improve and uplift the lives of millions of people and strengthen economies around the world. Our technology and global network increases efficiency so that digital payments are available, easy to access, and affordable to everyone everywhere, which is critical for economic development and safeguarding of the resilient cities. Digitization of everyday payments such as mass transit, payroll, urban mobility, aid, and small transactions boosts opportunities for usage amongst the underserved, while providing convenience, security, and access to other financial services as well. In the wake of COVID-19, very prescient timing, the usage of tap to pay across the world is increasing. With contactless payments, transit riders will not have to wait in line or buy or refill transit cards, touch a payment terminal, or deal with cash. In partnership with Bankable and PaySafe, Visa launched digital aid disbursement solutions for the British Red Cross to support the disbursement of COVID-19 relief funds and to aid the UK's most vulnerable groups, such as the elderly and refugees. And in 2020, Visa announced a global commitment to elevate 50 million SMBs, 8 million SMBs across Europe alone, by 2023. As part of that effort, we launched a partnership with Shopify, one of the global leaders in e-commerce, to enable SMBs to offer their products and services online. So lastly and critically, we support and advocate for progressive financial inclusion policies that stimulate innovation and access across the market. And we work with governments and nonprofit organizations to further drive public-private cooperation and partnership. Financial inclusion is a widely stated goal in public sectors. 2/3 of bank regulators have a mandate to promote this, and even more than 50 countries have set formal targets and financial inclusion national strategies. And financial inclusion is also an enabler in 7 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. In 2017, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Universal Postal Union and Visa jointly established a financial inclusion technical assistance facility, providing qualifying posts with assistance to improve and expand digitization of inclusive financial services through the well-known and trusted public infrastructure of post offices. This accelerated inclusive progress through another 250 million post-held payment accounts. And in June 2020, Visa launched the Visa Economic Empowerment Institute, whose mission is to promote and advance inclusive economic empowerment, which will develop new research and insight to help shape long-term policy within the global payments ecosystem. So that was a whistle-stop tour. And in closing, I hope that at least some of what Visa is doing to create smarter, more sustainable, and more inclusive cities and economies has seeded a kernel or two of inspiration for you at the Visa Innovation Program. It's hard to believe that Visa too was once an innovative small startup, dare I even say it, a fintech. So keep alive all of your dreams of making an impact and building a better future through innovation, because it could very well come true. Thank you all and have a great day.
Thank you so much for your useful input. Our greetings to Switzerland. Just to mention that Mrs. Brown gave us a glimpse of the future, which has to do with inclusive and sustainable economies, as she said. She talked about the intention of Visa to support micro businesses, especially as far as Greece is concerned. 50,000 small, medium enterprises will profit from Visa for Athens program. And in general, she revealed the future of the plans of Visa globally. At this point, we will start our discussion panel with focus on best practices. And I would like to welcome our guests, starting from Mr. Vangelis Vlachos, Chief Executive Officer at Athens Development and Destination, Athens Municipality. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the kind invitation.
Professor Silvia Ilieva, Director of Gate Institute from Bulgaria. Good afternoon, Mrs. Ilieva.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking me here in the panel.
It's our pleasure. And Mr. George Karamanolis, he's the co-founder, CTO and CIO at Crowd Policy. And just to mention that our moderator will be Mrs. Nancy Alonistioti, Deputy Informatics and Telecommunications. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. So welcome everybody in this panel. I think we can start with this interesting discussion, and I would like to pose some questions to our panelists and exchange some interesting ideas. So I would like to start with Mr. Karamanolis. So I would like to ask about crowd policy, since crowd policy is one of the innovators in the Greek tech space, and it's working directly with municipalities in order to create smarter and more sustainable cities. So what are the ways that you help your partners to do that?
Okay, thank you, Nancy. It's a very interesting question. If I have 2 minutes from your side, I could share with our great audience and some best practices and what we are what as crowd policy we are doing in order to support local cities, local economies, and local communities in order to use digital transformation engagement platforms to make the life of everyday citizens better. I could share my screen, just a minute. For a 2-minute presentation for these best practices. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, it's
Yes, George.
yes.
Okay, perfect. So I would like to introduce crowd policy and what we are doing the last 10 years. In essence, what we are doing with crowd policy aims to support the local innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem in Greece through hackathons, through acceleration programs in important sectors of economy and society. And of course, we are very proud for our participation and our support to Visa Innovation Program for the 4th cohort. And also another interesting business area is that we are trying to support local municipalities and cities in order to use new technologies and smart city applications and services. And everyone can imagine that digital transformation, financial technologies, local needs, and of course can create a very interesting social, economic, and technology ecosystem that, of course, affects our daily life. And in parallel, this ecosystem is also a field for innovation for startups. So it is also interesting that cities account for a large proportion of the global population and its economic activity. And I would like to mention that over a half of the world population now lives in cities. And by the next 30 years, this number will increase to 2 or 3. And currently, 80% of the global economic activity also takes place in cities. And this also, it is expected that the vast majority of future economic growth will come from cities. So it is interesting as technology providers and innovation to consider some key areas, for example, city payments, rewarding programs for eco-friendly everyday behavior, real-time payments for utility bills, electricity and gas consumption, paying for ride hailing, etc. And also it is important to consider that mobility providers, technology companies and infrastructure owners, for example, the cities and public transportation energies, have and should work together in order to co-develop and co-create solutions for smart city transportation. So the future success of our city, of course, is intertwined with and reliant, of course, on the future of transportation and mobility. And also VDP and all these innovation acceleration programs in general, but specifically the Visa Innovation Program could create a collaboration platform for technology startups and fintech startups to collaborate with cities, with the Greek cities. From our side, the support as technology providers from the Greek cities, from the municipality of Athens, for many municipalities in Greece, we strongly believe that Greek cities, and every city, of course, is a field for innovation. There are a lot of best practices. This is an example from a municipality in Crete, from a city in Crete, where the city provides a marketplace for a marketplace where every producer can operate very easily an e-commerce infrastructure. Or, for example, the sustainability initiatives that has been launched by many municipalities. We are very proud, of course, that we have supported these municipalities in order to engage citizens and align the city initiatives for environment, for everyday life, for policies with the local sustainable, with the sustainable development goals. I think also in Greek cities there are opportunities, because from our collaboration we see that the usage of mobile apps or embedded services or chatbots is very interesting. So there are opportunities for local startups and of course for fintech startups to apply and transfer their technology to address challenges, everyday challenges from the city perspective. So sorry for this introduction. I hope that what I would like is to highlight the importance of every city, not only the Greek cities, that play, of course, in the everyday life, and that the cities are a field for innovation and experimentation, and a lot of fintech applications could be transferred to the city environment to support not only payments through new technology, through the advanced technologies, but also to improve everyday life. This is my idea and my contribution to the panel.
Thank you. Thank you. So building on this, then I would like to ask you about the ways you think technology improves the way people live, commute, or participate in the public affairs. So we have seen from your presentation some ideas, but how do you see the total impact on the...
Okay, there are a lot of critical success factors when, for example, for a city, for a digital transformation, for a digital service provided by the city to be successful. The first is to provide accountability, openness, to provide open data, and to provide channels for the citizens to participate through e-democracy and digital engagement initiatives and concepts. This is the first. And of course, the second is to establish and support the local authorities, because, for example, municipality of Athens, has the infrastructure and the experience to operate digital services. Is something that Vangelis Vlachos will share with us, but and also we are collaborating with the municipality of Athens for a joint fintech program supporting the local SMEs with the Association of Retailers. There are a lot of organizational, not technical challenges, but organizational challenges. And what the fintech and in general the technology startups have to consider is to make the technology very simple and applied regardless of operational or legal or organizational barriers. This is not an easy task, but we have to try.
So, from what I understand, there are some good examples probably that you could share with us.
Of course, but also for the small cities and the municipalities, not only in Greece in general, there are challenges that have to be addressed, and these challenges are related to organizational issues from the municipality side, but also to the development of digital culture to the local to society. Imagine, for example, when we how much effort and communication effort and all this stuff has been devoted for the card transactions, and we can imagine how difficult it will be, for example, with open banking APIs and all this. So I think we have to make things better, easier, and of course, when smart city and IoT applications, where billions and thousands of devices could enable automated payments, this challenge will be more complicated and difficult. And that's the reason for the fintech startups and the technology startups in general to utilize infrastructures and open standards and open technologies, for example, as the Visa developer platforms, to embed these functionalities to smart city related applications. This is the idea.
So when we would like to point out the main vision for future of smart cities, what would you suggest in this area? how would you point out the let's say, the most important part of a future smart city?
Okay, Smart City is not a technology project, is more a culture development and social impact project from our side, because the technology for Smart City infrastructures, for IoT, for automation, etc., exists. But we have to apply these technologies to the operational environment of a municipality. And there are efforts in Greece that are in this support this direction. And I think that we don't need large, big investments, but to utilize existing technology and explore the dynamics of local SMEs and technology companies to establish collaboration channels with technology providers and these local businesses and SMEs. Because this for a smart city project, not in Athens, but for example in Kalamata or in Iraklio, this will be very difficult to apply central infrastructure without either it will be fintech infrastructure or smart city infrastructure without the collaboration with local business ecosystems and local technology companies.
Yes, that's true. Then this is a good point. This is a good point that I would like to pass to some questions to Mr. Vlachos in this case, because I think the experience from the Athens city would be valuable here. So first of all, Mr. Vlachos, just to explain what is actually the role of ADMA.
Well, actually, ADMA, it's the abbreviation of the Athens Development and Destination Management Agency, is part of the city of Athens. Actually, it's the operational body of the city of Athens. We are a publicly owned company that supports the city mission for tourism, entrepreneurship, and social inclusion. We operate as the city's DMO, the Destination Management Organization, and our basic goals are to extend the tourism season and to promote Athens as a destination all year long, for city breaks, for all the categories of thematic tourism, and for, until recently, the digital nomads who will stay here longer while working remotely. We develop and manage the city's international brand, This is Athens, and the official visitors guide online at thisisathens.org. We are not only promote Athens to visitors, but we are also working to ensure that tourism supports quality of life and gives it back to the city. We develop partnerships, we create conversations between tourism and industry stakeholders, and we are deeply I believe involved in promoting and organizing international conventions and meetings through the operation of the Athens Conventions and Visitors Bureau. We strongly believe that improving the quality of life is the best tool that the city has to attract more visitors. We are also involved in creating workshops for hotels and other tourism stakeholders so that they can understand what sustainability means for their businesses. At the same time, we are working to make sure that the necessary skills exist in the local labor market, and using a program that ADMA has gained funding from the EA grants called Skills on Demand. We will try to connect the necessary skills with the labor market by creating new jobs. That's a very short description. I could talk for many hours for what ADMA does, but we have the opportunity to tell more in a while.
Yes, thank you. And then in this case, what is the position of the city of Athens in terms of smart technologies? Does the city of Athens actually value smart technologies, and how is the digital transformation progressing in this case?
Well, we are seeing that technology is adapted to many existing problems, creating not only efficiency for the city, but making the life of residents easier. Actually, COVID operated like a catalyst and helped us transform faster. Athens has already undergone a digital transformation with the introduction of more than 100 digital city services, so that residents no longer have to stand in line at the city hall for basic documents and for basic services. During the last year, the city launched an application for street parking to make payments and traffic monitoring easier and more efficient. And recently, the city has placed hundreds of sensors in front of sidewalk ramps that alert the municipal police about cars blocking accessible pathways. This is helping us to start to organize and respond to one of the major problems of Athens, helping sidewalks become more accessible and predictable. Last but not least, there is a collaboration between the City of Athens and Microsoft. Lots of sensors have been settled in several locations of the city, providing us data about air pollution and the climate conditions in Athens.
Well, that's very interesting. So I imagine that a big focus, since you have already discussed about it, is the tourism. It has a central role for Athens. Probably it is one of the major points where there is a pressure from international consumers. So how do you think in this case Athens is responding to changes in the consumer demands in terms of technology, engagement and incorporation? Yeah.
We know today, better than ever before, that people want to visit destinations that actually are on a journey towards sustainability and accessibility. So we need to be sustainable because our visitors demand this from us, not only to talk about sustainability, but to show that we are acting to this direction. When we address sustainable tourism, we are really talking about improving quality of life for our residents, because the way that tourism impacts all of our lives in Athens is the same, that it can have a great impact on our visitors as well. We can't have a sustainable city without sustainable tourism, and we can't have a sustainable tourism without a sustainable city. There are many applications of technology to tourism that we have begun to explore during the last 2 years when tourism traffic was low, in order to boost the sustainability of travel. We have created new promotional tools for social media, for example, 2 podcast series. We're investing in a series of online shows. We're improving our multimedia warehouse of content about Athens. And this is all housed under the umbrella of our international brand, This is Athens, which has gained an enormous audience during the last 2 years, just by helping people dream about traveling to Athens. We have also developed a close partnership with the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, the GSTC, and with the expertise of the GSTC, we are concluding an assessment of Athens as a sustainable destination. This will help us to move forward to develop sustainable certification protocols. The GSTC has entailed dozens of interviews and data collection from almost all the divisions of the city government, as well as private sector stakeholders, museums, and other institutions that have a role in the tourist marketplace. Eventually, we are planning to have a fully operational sustainable tourism observatory to help help us through data-driven decision making in the near future.
Okay, that's very interesting. And maybe one last question about the partnerships. So there are some news about the Athens creating new partnerships. For example, a series of pocket parks recently. So what other partnerships have started, and how do you think they will impact the city?
The Vice President earlier mentioned the collaboration with the City of Athens through the Athens Partnership. And the truth is that The Athens Partnership as an entity has been the city's flagship model for urban development. With the help of private donors, the city has been able to quickly and successfully renovate abandoned properties to create pocket parks throughout the city. Athens is building partnerships that contribute to the education and training of professionals in order to become more sustainable and globally competitive. Our collaboration with GSTC, mentioned earlier, utilizes our growing warehouse of tourism data, as well as stakeholder engagements to develop educational workshops addressing sustainable business practices. We have also developed the Athens Business Green Toolkit, new funding tools, in order to help small businesses upgrade their storefronts and improve their image using the principles of energy efficiency and bioclimatic design. Athens is Back is a project developed in partnership with the Athens Trade Union. We built a platform that allows businesses to showcase promotional offers and discounts. And now, at the moment we're speaking, as George mentioned, we are working together to build a new platform to promote the Athens shopping. Using digital tools like this help us to support foot traffic throughout the city and encourage residents and visitors to explore businesses outside of their own neighborhoods. Last but not least, we are promoting Agora Athens, an initiative we are going through with the Athens Chamber of Commerce in order to rebrand and redesign the historic tourism center in Plaka and Monastiraki to integrate those neighborhoods into our new urban plan and ensure that they are attractive both to visitors and locals.
Thank you very much. I would like to pass now some questions to Professor Ilieva, a colleague as we from the academia, but Professor Ilieva has a broad, let's say, activity, and we would like to raise here some questions about that. So you come from the Gate Institute, which is working around big data, and how they actually can be harnessed from a smart city. So what is your main focus and goal at this stage?
Yeah, thank you. So in Gate Institute, which is part of Sofia University, it is the first dedicated to big data and artificial intelligence center of excellence in Eastern Europe. And its establishment is co-funded by both European Commission and Bulgarian government. And it is joint initiative between Sofia University and Chalmers University of Technology and Chalmers Industry Technique in Sweden. So, you know, our partners in Sweden are first in innovation. So we have a lot to learn from them. And we are a part of this big data and artificial intelligence. We are trying to apply this in different domains. One of it is future cities. So we call it not smart city, but future city. It is the term established together with our Swedish colleagues in digital health, smart industry, and intelligent government. So by applying these big data and AI technologies, we are solving real world problems in these domains. And with this, we are aiming to stimulate open innovation, to create added value, and add new data-driven opportunities and services to different stakeholders. And in the future city, which is one of our domain, our main focus is to build this city digital twin. And with this advanced technology, we need to enable this smart data sharing, data-driven and evidence-based decisions in many city aspects, in air quality, in urban planning, in energy consumption, in mobility, and different areas. So the main goal in the future cities is in the next couple of years is to create this digital twin city model in Sofia. We started now in one district, Loznica district, but we'll extend this for the whole city together with our colleagues from Gothenburg, where they're creating the same digital city model for Gothenburg. And also now we are building the City Living Lab, where we are collecting data from first Loznica district, but later in the whole city, about pedestrians, about noise, about wind, air pollution, and a lot of data where this will contribute to make better decisions and improve quality of life in this region. And also our last activity is related to establish this first urban data space in Bulgaria, which is European initiative for data sharing and offering data as a service to several stakeholders.
Well, that's very interesting. Actually, I'm leading one of the digital innovation hubs here in Greece, and we are trying to do something similar. So I wish you have a great success in that. So I imagine that there are many startups out there, and they are actually trying to achieve all these, let's say, future goals. And in that case, what would be your approach to creating partnerships with these startups?
Yeah, so our role as a center of excellence, which is similar to other center of excellences that are existing, is to be intermediary, to be a glue between academia, research, and startups, industry, public authorities, society, so that we could apply this research in big data and artificial intelligence and to further commercial deployment of it. So as part of Sofia University, which is the oldest and the highest ranking in Bulgaria, GATE will design and deliver high quality education, professional training, which will offer to startups also about the fundamentals and about the current topics and innovation trends in data science, big data and artificial intelligence, but not only to startups, but also for public institutions and to the society. And also with our infrastructure, which will be our platform, our open innovation labs, the GATE building, which itself will be part of our living lab because it will be with a lot of sensors. We are now in a process of creating it, and in 3 months we have to move in the new building. So with our advanced infrastructure, through this open APIs and the data as a service model, we will enable these innovative startups to develop smart city, smart society applications in different areas. And also we will serve as a future city sandbox for industry prototyping, for test before invest experimentation, and for demonstration. So we will be open to all industry and startups for such activities. And in our activity to create this data space in urban area, the data will be shared and then will be utilized to create innovations and to deliver new services and new products. So that's our main offering to the industry and to the society.
That's great. And in this case, can you refer to some best practices or ideas or companies that can be thought of as innovation leaders in this industry? And since you are also a think tank, what would be the value for the society from this activity? Yeah,
so we consider Finland as a European leader, and we visited several times our colleagues there with their Helsinki digital twin in the city, and also Espoo Smart City, which is part of Helsinki and Smart Autonomy platform, where they're focusing on energy efficiency. So it's something to learn from these advanced partners at European level. And on a global scale, in November last year, the Seoul Metropolitan Government, the Korean one, they announced this Metaverse Seoul project, and the aim is to make Seoul the first major city to enter the metaverse with virtual communication ecosystem for all areas of the municipal administration, economic, cultural, tourism, education, civic services. So this is again something which we have to learn and to follow. As for the startup companies, there's one startup company, Coal Lines, which is an international company and focused on this multimodal transportation application. And it is recently launched within more than 60 towns, mainly in Canada and North America. And the application integrates public transport, bike share, car share, ride share, and taxis into single personalized route, and this facilitates the citizens to move around and in the city seamlessly. So that's similar activities we know that are going on in Berlin, in Germany. So this is a very advanced and very useful thing. And if we speak about Bulgarian startups, there is one startup, M Climate, which is funded by 11 Ventures, and this is a smart home IoT company, and it develops connected, low carbon footprint home automation products and services for energy savings and enhanced comfort and for home security. So those are important for us, mobility and the quality of life at home. So those are two examples for advanced startups.
And maybe one last question. And how actually do you envision the smart services of future cities, and also how would be the impact on socioeconomic and Green Deal challenges for these future cities?
Yeah, in our activities, we are aligned with this climate neutral and smart cities EU mission, which has where the smart cities play a pivotal role in achieving this climate neutrality by 2050. And this is the goal also for this European Green Deal. And we as a Center of Excellence, we are addressing these main challenges defined also by United Nations Environmental Program, where this driving the Green Deal implementation. And those are the capacity and data, which are very important. So as a part of Sofia University, we are contributing to build capacity and competencies by investing in people, in terms of digital skills, data culture to increase, entrepreneur empowerment. So those we're designing and delivering these courses. And also GATE is actively implementing this requirement for open digital ecosystem of data, algorithms, and insights. So it's closely related to these city data spaces and city digital twins, which are the main elements of this open digital ecosystem. So this will be platforms where all citizens open data from cities and commercial data, they will interoperate and will create new applications, which will be the future applications, and it will contribute to the quality of life in the cities. And based on this technology, on these digital twin cities, we'll see some new opportunities, and we will be able to simulate what-if scenarios, which is very valuable for the municipalities, and we'll able to explain what was happening and what is happening now, and we can predict what will happen tomorrow. And so this data space and these city digital twins, we can see them as accelerators for the city's green and digital transformation that will help to offer cleaner air, safer transport and less congestion and noise to the citizens, because we understand with our partners from Sweden that noise is very important for the quality of life and shorten the life of people, and we didn't pay attention so much so far. So it's something which we are working also.
So thank you very much. I also hope that we see this digital twin concept taking more attention and be adopted also here in Greece. So I think we
Mrs. Aloniskioti, before we end our panel, we have feedback from our audience. We have a question. I think that is referred to Mrs. Ilieva from Mr. George Vlatakis. He's asking, how do you manage data and ownership of data?
Interesting.
This is a big problem. This is a big concern for many people about the data. So we are a member of International Data Space Association. So we are a hub facilitator for Bulgaria, and there in this association there are a lot of stakeholders from different countries, European-wide and not only. And there are some recommendations and standardization about the data, sharing the data, about the rules, about trustworthiness of data and keeping sovereignty of data. So all the stakeholders who will share data to be sure, to be trusted that the data will be used only under the contract and only with the permission of the provider, which knows about which knows who is using their data, for how long, for which purpose, and what will be the benefit. So we are following these European-wide standards on this direction.
Mm-hmm. I would like to thank you all for this insightful discussion. Just to remind that at the end of our webinar, we will have a few minutes in our disposal for a Q&A session, so you stay here. And Mrs. Aloniskioti, thank you very much for the moderation.
Thank you all.
So we heard some very interesting views of people who are updated about the latest developments in this field. And now it's time to see the perspective of the startups, which thanks to their innovative ideas can help the proper functioning of smart and sustainable cities. Let's meet our guests, starting with Mr. John Katsiotis, CEO, co-founder at Parcadoro, startup of the Visa Innovation Program, Cohort 3. Good afternoon, Mr. Katsiotis.
Hello, thank you for the invite.
We have also with us Mrs. Elena Vatagelu from Giving Streets, Visa Innovation Program, Cohort 2.
Hello, nice to see you all. Thank you for inviting us to this event.
And Mr. Kutai Peker, Business Development Director of Payment Services, Uterit Soli Club, Visa Innovation Program, Cohort 3.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting.
In this panel, our moderator is Theo Kodjastavros, Innovation Officer at Crowd Policy.
Hello all, good to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Theo, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Actually, for the previous panel, it was very interesting, all the discussions, and I guess we all learned a few things on very interesting technologies. So I would like to thank actually this panel's speakers. Thank you for being here with us. And actually, I would like to start by making an introduction. I know that you're all like entrepreneurs that are working on very interesting parts, and they're all related to smart cities and how we can make actually more sustainable the way that we live. So I would like to start with Elena. If you could just give us a nice an intro of what you're doing and what is your vision actually.
Thank you, Theo. Giving Streets is a for-profit social enterprise that is motivated to use technology for good. Our solution enables spontaneous cashless donations to charities, homeless people or other people in need, while preserving their dignity and independence. The way it works is that in order to receive a donation, all someone needs is a Giving Streets QR code card. And by using the Giving Streets app, donors scan this QR code and choose the donation amount and make the donation. Homeless people can redeem the collected donations at affiliated businesses such as supermarkets, grocery stores, cafes, restaurants, hostels, whatever, while charities receive the donation amounts directly to their bank accounts. The whole process, the way we provide it from donation to redemption, is totally cashless, it's fully transparent, and requires zero equipment on the beneficiary's side. Overall, our vision is to make the people who are currently being left out, they're considered bankless, they're left out of this cashless society that we're all experiencing. Our vision is to make them, again, full members of this society.
That's an amazing initiative, and I know that you're using something like cards with a QR code, and that's so simple. I mean, the end result is so simple, and thanks for doing that. I will come back to you in a moment. So let me introduce to you John. Hi, John. Thanks for being here. You're working on a different, let's say, segment, but in the same industry as a whole. So can you give us just a brief intro of what you're doing?
Yes, certainly. So our company, we have two main products. The first one, which is named Parkadoro, is basically a parking management software, which car parks can use to handle their traffic, their business. They can monitor the vehicles, they can print invoices, receipts, they can also install cameras, barrier gates, so they can do anything they need. And it can be used by a small car park with 50 spaces or 10 spaces, or like a large car park with 1,000 spaces. And the second product that our company has is called Park Around, which is a booking platform where car parks can sign up and then they put parking spaces, and drivers can download the app or go to the website and they can book parking spaces online and get additional discounts. Currently, we have approximately 250 car parks that we're working with one product or the other, with Parkadoro or Park Around. And we have approximately 350,000 drivers that they have downloaded Park Around, and they're using it for Athens City Center, the airport, Aerosport, and so forth.
Thank you for that. And I've used your product. It's super cool. People should try it as well. In the same, let me come back to you again in a while. But Kutay, thanks for being here. It's very good to have you in our group. I know that you're on a similar space, I would say, as John. So can you just give us also an introduction to what you're doing?
Sure. Thank you, Theo. We are providing access control and payment services to our customers. What I mean is, for example, right now in Turkey, we are providing campus card systems to 70 universities. In addition to that, we are providing parking solution, library solution, etc., to municipalities or private companies and some government agencies. What I mean is, let's say that you are a university and we are using our campus card system. We are providing hardware and software, which means, for example, in food courts, you can make payments with your school ID cards. Through our integrated banks, you can switch your ID card into a payment instrument. So not just in your university or your company. In the meantime, we also have integration with some municipalities. So through the same card, you can also enter museums, or you can make your parking payment through the same card, or you can even use transportation system. You don't need to carry any additional cards. And in the meantime, it's not just a physical card. It is you can also use all those places through our mobile application named Soli Club. For a small summary, that's it. By the way, I'm COVID these days, so my voice is a bit
Sorry to hear that.
Bad, so I'm sorry about it.
Oh, good. Thank you for that. Thank you for the introduction. And it's very interesting. Yes.
Before we go to the second round of questions, just to remind one more time, because I see it here in the chat from the organizers, that the audience can can make their questions to the Q&A button on the Zoom bar, because at the end of the session of our webinar, we will have a few minutes to discuss everything the audience wants.
And yeah, thank you. We hope that we have many questions and, just challenge our speakers here a bit. Back to where we're saying today, I think you're touching somehow on the IoT, let's say, industry in a sense, right? So the more, the smarter actually the devices become around us. So this actually changes how we live in our cities. Do you have any other ideas? Like, how do you see technology just incorporating in the cities of the future, let's say?
As you know, that from the beginning of the human history, we always develop something. Technology is, especially these days, developing rapidly. Why? Because there are always some new needs, new demands from people. Through our daily routines, we don't want to waste too much time for daily routines. For example, we don't want to look for a empty car parking, which John doing a great job about that. Or we don't want to waste time to buy some bus ticket and looking for a ticket selling places. These are bullshit right now. We need to be much fast, and we need to use our time more efficient. As far as I see in the future about these technologies, the country will be much more livable for humanity. And in the meantime, we will be using the resources much more convenient, which will be also a really good impact to the world. This is what I see for the future about those technologies.
It's so true. I mean, this is the goal of technology, and that's why we are so actually lucky living in this era that things are changing. I hope for the better. Let me come back to Elena. And Elena, you are touching this sustainability theme from actually the social perspective, which is a very it's a weird combination of technology, how we can actually help, and how do you think all these things just come in place, and how can we use all these modern technologies to have a bigger impact, and social impact, I mean, in all the communities that we live in?
Well, in all aspects of life, we see technology and new solutions emerging that help make our lives easier. They make it faster. They make us more connected or more inclusive. Or at least this is what we think, because it's inclusive when you're on the right side of things. There is a significant number of people who are struggling with the use of technologies, either because they are digitally illiterate, for example, older people, or because they simply have no funds to have access to devices or to connectivity. And as a result, these people are being left behind in this fast-paced digital revolution that we're all experiencing. It was exactly this realization, the fact that the technology is leaving people behind, that made us act in the first place. And this is how our idea emerged, to be honest. And coming from a technological background, we decided to use the technology that was what was causing the problem of financial non-inclusion to actually solve the problem itself. So what I would see is that technology should be bringing people together, not dividing them. So all those people who are designing new products or new services or applications should have in mind the people who are currently marginalized due to whatever reasons, and try to design solutions that are inclusive, from the beginning. And this is the safest way that we can achieve social impact in our communities, in my opinion.
Yes, I'm 100% behind you, and I think we are also lucky to see that there is a shift actually to the social entrepreneurship and how we can make our products or our services even like sustainable for the future, for the societies around us. And thank you for this. Let me go back to John, who is actually, he's been working on this for a while now, but, you know, other than the technology itself, is there anything else that you've seen that we can do, I mean, as individuals, to make our cities more sustainable? This is a topic that, you know, not everybody can become entrepreneurs or want to become entrepreneurs. So what can we do to make our lives a bit easier for everyone around us?
So I think in order for the city to be sustainable, our behavior needs to also be sustainable. In general, cities are considered sustainable when they have some specific traits, like, you know, you can use public transport to go anywhere within the city. They have embraced electric vehicles and they're adding charging stations. They provide access to parks, they develop you know, green buildings, they promote urban agriculture and so forth. So the question is how we can adapt our behavior to have an impact in these categories. Of course, we can increase the usage of public transport, right? There's no point if being able to go anywhere in the city with you know, public transport, but choosing to take your car. As much as it hurts, you know, my business, at the end of the day, it's better to use public transport if you can. If we can afford, maybe we can switch from a traditional vehicle to an electric vehicle, or a traditional, you know, motorbike to an electric motorbike, which might be, you know, cheaper in terms of what you purchase. We can do little things like, you know, replacing some of the herbs that we use for cooking with ones that we grow in our balcony. Or, you know, to start talking about things closer to my area of expertise, we can change our driving style. We can be softer on the gas pedal, or we can, you know, we can use park around if we choose to take our car, because 30% of the traffic is caused by drivers looking for a parking spot. So by driving directly to the parking spot, instead of circling around, you know, you can save gas, you have lower emission, and you contribute to keeping the traffic at acceptable levels. In general, I think it's good to follow the 80-20 rule, also known as Pareto principle. Basically, this rule says that 80% of the outcome is produced by 20% of the effort. So, you know, let's try and find what 20% of our behavior we can adapt to have the, you know, the 80% of the result.
That's so true. And one of my favorite things is actually the Pareto law. And this is what I'm going to keep. Just do the small things, and the compound actual result will be there in the end. So when it comes back to you, is there anything, any interesting projects or something that you're working on that you think can actually somehow, you know, help all the vision that you have, and, you know, whatever we can do as we are talking about, you know, when it comes to the sustainability? Is there anything that you would like to share?
So right now we are working on providing better information about around electric vehicles. We're working with car parks into helping them, you know, choose what, you know, the best charging solution would be for their facility in order to install charging stations. And also we are implementing solutions that will allow drivers to find charging solutions, use them. So basically we are trying to adapt into making charging your electric vehicle more accessible.
Perfect. We're looking forward to see any updates on that. Thank you, John. Let me go back to Kutay, and I'm going to ask you the hard questions now. So what are, you know, some of the big changes that you would like to see and that is not really working right now? And, you know, how does its vision actually connect to this change?
I think one of the most important topic about the future cities, smart cities, is climate change. We should use the energy very efficiently. So there are really great technologies, some of the startups working on it right now. Some of those technologies have a direct impact to this change, and some of them have some indirect impacts. I think this is one of the most important parts, because most of the technologies has providing some comfortable to people, but this topic will be a necessity for our future, for humanity's future, not for just people, also for animals, for all over the world. So I think this is the most important part. What we are doing as an authority, we are providing some indirect solution about this topic. We mainly focused on card technologies. We are making the cities fully cashless. And in the meantime, we are providing really comfortable daily routines to the people. This is what we mostly focused on.
I see, and we're also waiting for any updates. I know that you're working on some very interesting things. We will see very soon what you have to bring to the world around us. Thank you for that, Kutay. Let me ask one last question to Elena to close this panel. So, Elena, I'm going to ask you something that, what are, first of all, the results you see, because you've been working on this for a couple of years now, and, what are the results that you actually see out there? And the last thing I want to know, actually, from pretty much everyone, what are some quick wins that are there out there, and we can just grab them according to the Pareto law, 80-20?
Well, from our experience, trying to launch Giving Streets to the market, we have seen that people recognize the need for solutions that make a change in the society. Whatever the domain may be, whether it's financial inclusion or the climate, as Kutay said, or I don't know, education or other kinds of societal issues. People are willing to contribute. They are eager to take action, and what they need is the right tools, the right solutions, solutions like the ones that we have developed, or I am sure many more that are at the minds of people and are ready to emerge somehow. Quick wins, I'm not so sure. I don't know about that, but any change, no matter how big or small, is welcome. It's very important. New ideas are popping up all the time, new applications. My suggestion would be that people should just, download and try an app, see where it takes them, see how it fits them. If they have an idea, they could, try to make it a reality. There are numerous initiatives that support social innovation and social entrepreneurship. So what we need to do is just keep these issues in mind, be inclusive by design, and look out for a better future, I would say, if I had to end with an optimistic note.
That's good. And I'm going to say, just give startups a chance and say, things, and to the people, because I am 100% agree with you. People want to try, they want help. And if we can create and develop the right tools, things will change, and hopefully faster than later, like things are changing already. Thank you all. It was really interesting to discuss. We're waiting for your updates. We will post your links and everything so people can follow you and find out a bit more about what you're doing. It was a pleasure. And Maria, back to you.
Thank you, Theo, for the wonderful moderation. It was a very lively panel. We heard so many interesting things. I would like to thank you all. I hope that you found this webinar useful, insightful, and inspiring as well. I don't see any questions. Either the audience is shy or you don't have any queries, which means that we have covered all the topics very well. We have a few minutes in our disposal. You can raise your hand or type the question. The participants will stay here for a few minutes.
While we wait, since Theo asked about quick wins,
yes.
Well, we have experienced more quick losses than quick wins in our career, but I think that quick wins, happen, and you realize, the quick win through your customers. So in our case, one example is that we have had this quite a few times. We have, let's say, people, customers at an older age, that they phone us and they say, okay, I want to use your service. I want to book a parking spot. I know that, we also do bookings by phone, so they can phone us and we can do the booking for them. But they say to us, can you please teach me how to do it through your website? I want to learn to do it. And so having technology, or keeping technology, or introducing technology to someone's life, I think it's a quick win.
Inclusion and learning actually across the board, that's very, very important. And I'm happy that we have actual examples that this is happening around us. I guess the others have also similar stories to share. It all comes back to that people want to actually try and do something and help. Thank you for sharing, John.
Judging from the audience's reaction and feedback, they found your panel interesting, that's for sure. And they are asking the links of your companies to get more information about what you do. I don't see any questions. They're just saying congratulations. And they are thanking us.
Thank you for being around.
I don't know if any of the organizers, if anyone of Crowd Policy, maybe George or Vicky, wants to say something before we close this webinar.
Actually, it was very interesting to hear you all and have you all with us, despite the Technopempty Day. To learn more about smart cities and the next.
And despite
cohort.
the war.
Yes, and despite the war, we're all here to hear more about the fourth cohort of Visa Innovation Program, which is coming shortly. The applications are now open. All of you to join from the audience and our crowd, which remained and watched us all this time. And perhaps the last word will be to George, our co-founder from Crowd Policy.
Yes, from our side, I would like to say that we will be committed to our efforts and will support every technology startup that will participate to Visa Innovation Program in general, to use and utilize the existing partnerships we have as Crowd Policy with over 80 municipalities from all over Greece. And it will be a great test bed, all these municipalities and cities to deploy applications, and the MVPs and the results that will produced by not only the fourth cohort, by every cohort. And of course, this will be supported in collaboration with each municipality. And we have tried, of course, to engage and onboard a lot of them to the Visa Innovation Program. So a lot of cities and municipalities and mayors are waiting our innovation results from the Visa Innovation Programs and what the technology and innovation startup ecosystem will implement, and specifically the fintech ecosystem, in order to make our life better in every city. This is what I would like to say.
George, as a journalist, I would like to mention that I get informed about what Crowd Policy does, and I have to say that you are one step ahead. And keep up with the good work, because we like such initiatives. You help startups find their way, And I don't think that there are many companies like Crowd Policy that have partnerships with business leaders as Visa and run such initiatives and programs here in Greece. And this is very important.
Yes. And
So
we will do our best, of course, to bring every partnership and support the creation of synergies with local authorities, with cities through the Visa Innovation Program. And this is something that will benefit, of course, the program, but also the startups and the local society. This is something that we have to try, and we will try it.
So thank you very much. Have a nice day. And don't eat much.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
nice
you
you
all
all.
for your
Bye.
participation.
Bye.
And apply for Visa Innovation Program in our URL visainnovationprogram.com. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.